Hey, what's up, everybody? Nick here, and I just got back from seeing Longlegs, a movie that in recent weeks has skyrocketed in popularity because of the reviews that have been buzzing all over social media. People have been talking about this movie. This jumped to a lot of people's number one most anticipated horror movie of the year. Now, I'm here to give you a review, but I want to let you know I'm not going to spoil anything. This is a spoiler-free review, so if you have not seen the movie yet, you don't have to click off of this video. You can watch it. So the basic plot of Longlegs is that there is a serial killer on the loose, presumably, and there is an FBI agent named Lee Harker, played by Mika Monroe, who's trying to track down this serial killer by finding out his methods, the reasons behind why he's doing what he's doing, and it leads them on a wildly insane story with a lot of things that you might not see coming that happen in this movie. Okay, so let's get the cons out of the way first with Longlegs. There are none. I'm not even kidding you. When this movie ended, when the credits came up, I did not sit there for a second and go, they could have done this better. No, I genuinely have no complaints with this movie at all. So let's jump right into the positives. First and foremost, I have to say this movie is beautifully photographed. Osgood Perkins directs his ass off in this film. From the beginning, just the way things are framed, from the very beginning of the movie, you already know you're going to be in for a very visually entertaining film. And this movie is just that. On top of that, there are moments throughout this movie, just the framing of the shot where in the background you're expecting to see something and you can't help but not focus on what's in the foreground because you're terrified of what might be popping up in the background. And it's done so many times throughout this movie. It's done just subtly enough to where you can't take your eyes off of the background. And I think that is just absolutely brilliant. And that speaks to the suspense and the tension that is ever present throughout this movie. On top of that, you have incredible performances by Nick Cage and Mika Monroe. Let me just say, it is weird growing up and getting older and seeing Mika Monroe get older and grow up because I think of her as Jay, the late teens, early 20s girl from It Follows. And I guess that's part of growing up, is that you grow up with these actors and these people that you have watched on screen forever. They grow up with you, so it's kind of cool and also kind of depressing. But she's incredible in this movie. She plays this really awkward, weird, shy detective where you know throughout this movie there is more to her story that we have not dug into yet. And as the layers get peeled back on this onion throughout the movie, it is super intriguing. Not to mention Nick Cage as Longlegs is delightfully disturbing. I'm telling you, this guy needs to play more roles like this. He is definitely getting into the later stages of his acting career as he gets older, and I think that this is his wheelhouse. Like right now, this is where he belongs. The maniacal, over-the-top, just chewing the scenery type of role is just, Nick Cage was born for it at this point. Another positive with this movie is the surprises and the twists and the turns that the story takes you on. Now, that's not to say certain things you might not see coming or you might not have been able to infer, but there are genuine surprises throughout this movie where you're like, oh, wow, I didn't put two and two together there. And it's not going to leave you confused. At the end of the movie, you're going to get an explanation for a lot of stuff that you may not have understood. You might have been getting close to connecting the dots, but you needed one more piece or two there. The end of the movie will give you that. So this movie, although it is multi-layered and there's a lot going on in it, it really does not leave you questioning much. This is a crime mystery detective thriller, but it's also, and I can't spoil, so I can't really give much more than that, but it's definitely delves into other subgenres of horror. Let's just say that. Now, as far as everybody saying that this movie is so disgusting, it shouldn't exist, I don't agree with that. Now, I think it depends on your stomach. There is viscera in this movie. There is gore in this movie. There is stuff in this movie that is going to make you go, ooh, ow, that hurt. But I think what people are actually talking about here is the movie is disturbing. Just on a level of its substance. The subject matter here is disturbing. There are a couple moments in this movie where there's levity and it stands out because it's such a dull experience. Like you're just kind of depressed and worried and full of tension the entire time. So those 2 or 3 moments that kind of break that tension are actually really welcomed, and my theater was packed. So getting to see this in a packed theater and having people react to those moments, I could tell, gauging the audience, they were going through the experience the same way I was. Another thing I loved about this movie is the sound design as a whole. There are really not many jump scares at all to be had in this movie, but there is one that is very effective, and part of that is because of the sound design. Certain things get incredibly loud to the point where it almost makes your ears ring. It's disorienting, and that is clearly an intentional decision to try to get in the head of the audience, to try to keep you on your toes or catch you off guard. And furthermore to that point, the score here, it is very, very low and in the background at times, and it just kind of builds off of whatever you're watching on screen, or it's very overbearing and you really feel the full weight of it. I think this movie should be seen in a theater simply for the sound design alone and just the way it's shot. Like I said, it is gorgeously photographed. Guys, I can't get into any more about this movie without spoiling it, and I'm not going to do that. But as I said, I do not have a single complaint with Longlegs. So if you want to know if you should go see it, I say yes, yes, yes. This gets the highest of recommendations that I can give. This is a 5-star movie in my opinion. It lives up to the hype in the sense that it is a truly incredible film. I don't think it lives up to the hype in the sense of like, oh my gosh, it will make you not want to sleep tonight. Nah, not necessarily. But again, we see people all the time kind of overreact with that. But that's not to say that this movie is not disturbing and evil and borders on shouldn't exist because of those themes that it plays with. All of those things are true. But I want to hear down below in the comment section what you guys thought. If you saw it, let me know what you thought down below. If you are excited to see it, or if you weren't planning on seeing it and now you're going to, let me know down below. Guys, this may be the year for Neon. I'm telling you, this little studio, first they had Immaculate, which was a pretty good success for a low-budget horror film. Now they've got Longlegs, which I think this is going to be quite successful. And then later this year, they've got Cuckoo. I'm telling you, this could be the year of Neon. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, your family, your dog, whoever you want to share with. This is Nick. I thank you so much for stopping at the Lost River Drive-In, and I'm pulling out.